Episode 1 of Euphoria Season 3 feels like a reset, but not in a hopeful way. The characters are older, their environments look different, and their lives have moved forward. But underneath all of that, nothing has really been resolved. The episode is less about reintroducing everyone and more about showing where their choices have led them. It asks a simple question: what happens when you grow older without actually changing? Rue's storyline carries most of the episode, and it immediately shows that growth and movement are not the same thing. She looks more stable. She has worked different jobs, traveled, and seems more functional than before. But this version of stability doesn't come from healing. It comes from avoidance. Laurie's return shifts everything. Instead of running away like before, Rue is now trying to deal with the situation, but in a way that pulls her deeper into it. She's actively trying to pay back the money, which is why she crosses the border and starts working as a drug mule. This is important because it shows a change in behavior, but not a real improvement. She's no longer avoiding the problem. She's becoming part of it. The debt itself works symbolically. It has grown into something overwhelming, showing how her past choices have built up over time. But instead of facing it in a way that leads to recovery, Rue chooses a path that keeps her trapped in the same system. She's trying to fix the damage by doing even more damage. So while it may look like progress, it's actually a deeper form of being stuck. She's not escaping anymore, but she's also not healing. She's just finding a way to survive inside the problem. The scene with the family near the border is one of the most important moments in the episode because it shows how Rue sees the world. She comes across a family that appears stable, happy, and grounded in faith. To her, this feels like something completely different from her own life, and she's immediately drawn to it. However, Rue isn't really understanding their reality. She's projecting her own desires onto them. She sees happiness and assumes that their lifestyle must be the answer to her problems. This connects directly to the theme of illusion versus reality. Rue isn't engaging with the truth of what she's seeing. Instead, she chooses the version that gives her comfort. It shows how easily she can convince herself that something external will fix her without actually changing anything within herself. Rue's sudden interest in religion comes from that same mindset. It's not really about belief or faith. It's about wanting structure, purpose, and a sense that her life has direction. After seeing the family, she wants to feel what they feel, but she approaches it in a very surface-level way. Faith requires discipline, honesty, and accountability, and Rue avoids all of those things. She takes the idea of religion, but not the responsibility that comes with it. This turns something that could be meaningful into another form of escape. Instead of confronting her problems, she tries to replace them with something that feels easier to hold on to. The drug mule storyline shows how much deeper Rue has gone into this world. She's no longer just someone using drugs. She's now actively part of the system that spreads them. This shift is important because it raises the stakes and shows how her role has changed over time. Bringing Faye into it makes things even worse. It shows how these cycles don't stay contained to one person. They spread, often pulling others into dangerous situations. There's also a strong question about whether Rue is sober. She appears more controlled, but that doesn't mean she's okay. It's possible that she has replaced substance use with risk. Instead of relying on drugs, she's now drawn to danger and high-pressure situations. This keeps her in the same pattern, just in a different form. Maddy and Lexi's storylines offer a different perspective but connect to the same ideas. Both of them are working in Hollywood, which represents a system that looks appealing on the outside but is still limiting. Maddy's life appears successful, but she doesn't actually have control over her finances or her position. Lexi is closer to building something meaningful, but she's still trying to find her place and prove herself. Their situations show that success doesn't automatically lead to freedom. Even when things look better on the outside, the system therein still shapes their choices. Cassie and Nate's storyline continues to explore control, image, and identity. Cassie presents her actions as a form of independence, especially through her online presence. However, her decisions are still influenced by Nate, even when she tries to act on her own. Nate, on the other hand, is trying to build a future through his business, but he's clearly struggling to maintain control. His idea of creating an end-of-life facility is symbolic because it reflects his own emotional state. He's focused on control and structure, but everything around him feels unstable. Their relationship shows how control can be mistaken for stability, even when it's fragile and unreliable. Alamo's introduction shifts the tone of the episode and introduces a new kind of danger. Unlike Laurie, who represents chaos, Alamo represents control. He's calm, calculated, and very aware of his power. What stands out most is how Rue reacts to him. She isn't just afraid. She is drawn to him. She listens to him, respects him, and almost admires him. This shows how her mindset has changed. She's becoming more comfortable in dangerous environments, and that makes her situation more serious. Instead of resisting this world, she's starting to accept it as part of her life. The final scene with the apple is one of the clearest symbolic moments in the episode. When Alamo places the apple on Rue's head and takes the shot, the situation becomes about control, trust, and survival. Rue has no power in that moment. Her life is completely in someone else's hands. What matters most is her reaction afterward. When she survives, she doesn't respond with relief or fear. Instead, she laughs. This reaction shows that she doesn't fully value her life in a normal way. Instead of seeing the danger, she interprets it as a sign that she's on the right path. She believes that surviving means she's meant to be there. This way of thinking allows her to justify her choices and continue moving deeper into dangerous situations. In the end, Episode 1 sets the tone for the rest of the season. Everything is bigger and more mature on the surface, but nothing is truly better. Rue is still lost, just in a more dangerous way. She hasn't learned from her past. She has simply adapted to it. If this episode is anything to go by, the story is no longer about whether these characters will survive their problems. It's about what those problems will eventually cost them. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.